Welcome, everyone. As infrastructure engineers and architects, we are increasingly moving away from a world of homogeneous RAM. Today, we are designing systems for ultra-scalability, where general-purpose DRAM is supplemented by high-bandwidth memory, Compute Express Link devices, and non-volatile DIMMs. Developing kernel drivers for these specific purpose memory types requires a deep understanding of the Linux memory management subsystem. We are no longer just managing buffers. We are architecting the interface between specialized silicon and the operating system's virtual memory manager. Over the next 20 minutes, we will explore how to map hardware registers, manage page tables, and ensure that our drivers provide the low-latency, high-throughput access that modern high-availability patterns demand. This journey involves mastering the hardware abstraction layer and understanding how the kernel views physical address spaces that do not behave like traditional system memory. Let's begin by defining our scope and the primary challenges of custom memory integration.
To the kernel, specialized memory often looks like a PCI device. The primary mechanism for communication is memory-mapped I/O. During the PCI enumeration process, the hardware exposes base address registers, or bars, which define the size and type of the memory region. As driver developers, our first task is to claim these regions and map them into the kernel's virtual address space using I/O remap. However, for specific purpose memory, standard I/O remap is often insufficient. We must consider write combining, non-cached access, or even architectural-specific attributes that govern how the CPU interacts with the memory controller. We are essentially creating a window through which the processor can see the specialized memory hardware. Understanding the alignment requirements, often at 4 KB or 2 MB boundaries, is critical for performance and preventing alignment faults. This slide focuses on the transition from a physical hardware register to a usable kernel space pointer. Once we have our mapping, we must integrate it with the Linux kernel's memory management. This involves distinguishing between kernel logical addresses and kernel virtual addresses. For specialized memory, we frequently work with struct page arrays to represent the underlying physical memory, even if it is not part of the standard system pool. This is where we utilize the dev-mem memory map pages interface to provide a managed view of the memory. This allows other kernel subsystems to interact with our memory using standard primitives. We must be cautious about memory hot-plugging and how the kernel handles holes in the physical address space. By managing the address space correctly, we ensure that our driver can support high-availability patterns, such as failing over memory regions, without crashing the entire kernel thread or the user space application relying on that data. For maximum performance, your driver may need to manually manipulate page tables. This is especially true when providing user space applications with direct access to specialized memory via the mmap system call. Within the driver's mmap implementation, we use functions like remap-pfn-range to map the physical frame numbers of our specialized memory into the user process's page tables. We must set the appropriate protection bits, read, write, or execute, and ensure the VMIO flag is set to prevent the kernel from trying to swap these pages to disk. Furthermore, for high-performance computing, we often implement support for huge pages to reduce TLB misses. Managing these mappings involves a careful dance with the kernel's memory management locks to avoid race conditions during page fault handling. This is a critical step for infrastructure engineers aiming for zero overhead data paths. Data movement is the bottleneck in ultra-scalable systems. To overcome this, we implement direct memory access. Our driver must orchestrate the transfer of data between the specialized memory and other devices or system RAM without involving the CPU. This is achieved using the DMA API, which handles the complexities of IOMMUs and cache coherency. We use scatter-gather lists to describe non-contiguous memory regions, allowing the hardware to perform complex transfers in a single operation. Zero copy is the gold standard here. By mapping the same physical memory in both the kernel and user space, we eliminate the need for costly memcop operations. This effectively doubles our throughput and significantly reduces CPU utilization, which is vital for maintaining high availability under extreme loads. We will look at DMA map-SG and how it interacts with the specialized memory controller. How does the driver know when a memory operation is complete? Traditionally, we rely on interrupts, specifically message-signaled interrupts, or MSIX, in modern PCI systems. This allows the hardware to notify the CPU immediately.
However, at the speeds of specialized memory, like CXL or HBM, the overhead of interrupt handling can become a bottleneck. This is where hybrid polling strategies come into play. For ultra-low latency, the driver might busy wait or poll a memory-mapped status register. We must balance the latency benefits of polling against the power and CPU cycle costs. Modern drivers often use an adaptive approach: poll for a short period when high traffic is detected, and fall back to interrupts during idle times. This ensures that the system remains responsive while maximizing throughput for our high-availability infrastructure. Specialized memory introduces complex cache coherency challenges. When the CPU and an external accelerator both access the same memory region, we must ensure they see the same data. The kernel must be aware of the memory's location in the non-uniform memory access (NUMA) topology. If the specialized memory is attached to a specific socket, accessing it from a remote socket introduces significant latency penalties. Our driver should register the memory as a separate NUMA node, allowing the scheduler and memory allocator to make informed decisions about process placement. We also deal with hardware-managed coherency protocols like CXL.cache and CXL.mem. Ensuring that our driver correctly handles cache flushing and invalidation is paramount to preventing data corruption in high concurrency environments. This slide explores the interaction between hardware snooping and software-managed coherency. In global-scale systems, hardware failure is a certainty, not a possibility. Specialized memory drivers must be robust against errors. We implement handlers for machine check exceptions, MCE, and use error correction code, ECC, metadata provided by the hardware. When a memory page becomes faulty, the driver must cooperate with the kernel to poison that page, preventing future allocations and potentially migrating data to a healthy region. We also support hot plug and hot remove operations, allowing for the physical replacement of memory modules without taking the entire node offline. This self-healing capability is central to modern high-availability patterns. We will discuss the RAS, reliability, availability, and serviceability, features that turn a basic driver into a production-grade infrastructure component. Quantifying the success of a kernel driver requires rigorous benchmarking. We look at two primary metrics: latency and throughput. For specialized memory, we often see latencies in the range of 10 nanoseconds to 100 nanoseconds, depending on the interconnect. We use tools like FIO and custom kernel modules to measure the time to first byte and sustained bandwidth. It is also crucial to measure the jitter, the variance in latency, as high jitter can destroy the performance of real-time or high-frequency trading systems. We will examine how to use the kernel's tracing infrastructure, like ftrace and eBPF, to profile our driver's code paths and identify bottlenecks in the page fault handler or DMA engine. This data-driven approach allows us to refine our driver for the demands of ultra-scalable systems. As we look to the future, the boundaries between local memory and network-attached storage are blurring. CXL 3.0 is introducing fabric-attached memory, where a pool of specialized memory can be shared across hundreds of servers. Our drivers will evolve from managing local bars to managing complex fabric topologies and multi-host coherency. This requires a shift towards composable infrastructure, where memory is dynamically allocated to nodes as needed. The principles we've discussed, MMIO, DMA, and NUMA, remain the foundation, but the scale is increasing exponentially. Mastering these kernel driver techniques today prepares you for the next generation of data centers, where memory is a fluid resource. Thank you for your time, and I look forward to your questions on building the future of high-availability memory systems.